I'm going to explain, even though it doesn't matter very much anymore at the age of 60, almost 62, why I don't sympathize with the fact that people don't sympathize with me. When I say it doesn't matter anymore, it doesn't mean that people can't do me more harm. They've gotten away with torturing me, poisoning me, beating me, violating me, killing people I loved. They can continue to do that. I haven't been able to stop them. I've reported it to the police, to administration, to authorities, to schools. And they say basically we are united in not being sympathetic to you, Matt Curry. It's not that hard to see the subtext of what they claim they have over me. It's childhood blackmail. I was tortured, hammered into a shack when I was 12, 13 years old, and used shamelessly by people who knew I was too young to be being used that way. But the adults all knew what was going on. AFC Electronics were Peep, Bush had spy cams, and Kennedy's assassins were making an explanation for what they were doing by saying love is hate and hate is love. It was a 1984 style game by the British working with Yoko Ono. So we know that. That's all clear, perfectly clear. So why wouldn't somebody sympathize with me? I'll explain their point of view. They have a blackmail. You know, they'll just say, well, Cray was hammered into his shack with a girl, both of whom were children. She was fully developed. He was prepubescent. She knew what was going on and wanted to do it. He was a child who didn't understand. Administration was watching. And if he says anything, we're going to make public Michael Reagan's favorite scene some more, which is even worse and dirtier and was done to me when I was 9 years old in my sleep. Okay, so that's why they don't sympathize with me. They don't want it to get around what they did to me. So they don't sympathize with me. That's easy. That's the easy part to understand. The harder part to understand is why I don't sympathize with them. You would think a person whose victim nods that way would have an easy time of it not sympathizing with them. But no, it's not that simple. You see, British intelligence knows what Orwell is. When they put out 1984, for example, you were supposed to comprehend that a person who was driven so insane with fear that he would stop defending the person he loved most and thus be reduced back to the robot state they wanted is criminally insane and statecraft. Nevertheless, the assassins were allowed to do this over and over and over again to me. They want me to forgive the murder of my loved ones, the rape of my friends, the destruction of my adulthood, and laws that have been endless. That's what they want. And they're insisting because they say love is hate and hate is love. And they can't get enough of it. They can't get enough of it. Hate is tough love, they say. They can't get enough of it. They're eager to forgive killers. They Some guy committed a rape. I never did anything to anybody and was castrated, but the same administration who did that to me let a rapist go, and he, as soon as he got out, he beat another fellow to death. You say, so I mean they're forgiveness hungry. They can't wait to see me forgive so they can poison me in the mouth and rape more people and kill more people. That's what administration, state of Washington is. And you write to Attorney General and he's licky chops. He laughs good. You write to the senators, oh, they licky chops. They laugh good. You write to the newspapers and the Congress people start threatening to kill you. So, and they say, wear your inside out. That's an ultimatum. Anything you do, flinch, look away, they detect. You see, I'll give you an example of the way that their headmaster thinks. The headmaster thinks when I killed someone he loved, I really got off on it. So somebody he loves dies, he must be laughing. And he looks Pete really rivetingly Pete to see if you get a tee hee. I'm glad it wasn't me. That's not him put it, and that's what he's looking for, because he wants to ravage some more. Nothing to do with any normal person's feelings. Normal person isn't like this headmaster. Normal person keeps a distance from other people's sorrows, sympathizes with them, and wishes no harm on other people. That's where I stand with all of that. I wish no harm on it. If I was suspicious of them, I'd make clear my reasons. Wear your inside out, they came. And became Ripper murdering people. You know, the civil rights movement made us evil. The treatment of the black made us evil, and demanded any detail. Repeat, super invasive Pete. Wear your inside out. And then when I said, okay, Michael Reagan, I'll give you your favorite scene some more, they were like, how dare he tell? How dare he tell those secrets? How dare he tell those secrets? So they have it all rigged up. If when you know, and they were like, they would say the first thing that comes out of your head while they were impacting a hostage child with horrible things. We want the soundtrack. We want the soundtrack. Give us Michael Reagan's favorite scene some more. Things that incomprehensibly debased they did to a child, and they were like, "Oh, everybody likes cocaine," and this is coming from the personnel who absolutely hate, for example, Joe Biden's administration because they believe in responsibility on some level. That they should work hard at their jobs because it's governing a nation that's remiss when it comes to the planet. Now, Joe Biden isn't my hero. He's been too involved with the Democratic Party's yeah, about better weapons and stuff, and neglected the war crimes that were committed by, you know, Bush and Reagan and various administrations who don't believe in happy children's schools, who don't want to use their wisdom, their charm, their strength to make sure the children are safe in schools and content and feel safe. Working against bullies. No, they want to stand in the heart, armed to the teeth, in vests with helmets and rifles, refusing to enter a classroom, giving the killer all day to kill children. That's what they want to do. They're big. They're Clint Eastwood. It's really, here's what I'm going to do to you, son. I'm going to send you out and I'm going to have an accent on the set with you. I mean, you get the idea. So I could see, no, I can see you're scared to death. You're scared to death of that no good commie fella who believed in JFK and Herbert Agar and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. You that no good commie fellow who stood up for his father, who we poisoned for being a naval veteran, lieutenant. Yeah, because he wondered about that Vietnam War thing was going on with John Wayne. Uh-huh. Yeah, and we're going to get the Burmese dacoits. They're going to come. They're going to poison him in the mouth because the civil rights movement made the black man evil. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. The treatment of the black man made the black man evil. You can't escape. And this, and if you'll never be forgiven, son. No, son, you'll never be forgiven till you forgive. And we'll deliver your pleas for help by killing two more Kennedys. Is what we'll do. And this is Jay Inslee's government. This is what is it's just stark raving mad. They have Yoko Ono making movies about injecting people and putting them in permanent fryers of Frankenstein ovens and then playing with long black hair on TikTok. Putting out, priceless, precious Gamoras with their virginity intact. Don't you wish you were in Trumpy Tunes Battalion? Just think what would happen if you betrayed JFK. You might get some hiatus, some licky chops before we inject you. And this is the administration here. I found it in Pittsburgh too. It's the administration, May Congress, all of these so-called idiots. I mean, all of these so-called honorable people, like Omar, like she comes in, or she represents Muslim women. A lot of Muslim women are very concerned to maintain their chastity and their virtue, and she's out there getting arrested for abortion. I don't care about, the Pussy Riot wants to see people dead and diseased. That's Putin's contribution to Diamond de Gaulle. Diamond de Gaulle is going to level the playing field with a genocide, and you don't think that's politics? I mean, of course it's politics. You know, it's absurd that it's ignored. And we're supposed to say, well, we're supposed to trust them. Don't touch that issue. We're supposed to trust them because it's hot. It's a hot issue. They might give us another cold. They might give us another cold. This is the Cold War going on. Burr, burr for bursting. They refuse to investigate any of it. And they don't sympathize with me because I can't help it. I'm a journalist. My grandfather worked for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. There's this picture there. I can't help it. They don't have to tell me where you're inside out. If something's newsworthy, I have to go and report it because that's the profession that I was enculturated to. You're not supposed to lie to the American people. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell them clearly and carefully what they need to know so that they can, put reasonable safety measures over things like biolabs. We traced a berserk child killer who tortured me to Salk Research Labs, and I reported it eons ago. And the David Bowie movement was, no, son, love is hate, no, son, love is hate.